Good evening. Good evening. I hope you're doing well this evening. This is Pastor Dean, Senior Pastor of Sustaining Faith Ministry. I hope you're doing well this evening, and welcome to the Leadership Vision and Progress podcast. Hey, it's the first one of 2025. Hey, what can I say? Life happens, right? I'm so proud to be here tonight and happy that we've, made time to just have an opportunity to talk and get back to leadership and get back to, how important it is to take Christ, in our jobs where we, have careers and where we can impact the community. And if you haven't been here before, hey, I want to welcome you. This is a podcast where we really slow it down and try to get a relevant picture of who you are and how you can be a leader in the community. And let me tell you, the best mentor of leadership that you will ever have is Jesus Christ. When you look at the way Jesus mobilized himself, the way Jesus spoke, the way Jesus used his discernment, his connection to the Father, his leadership as he dealt with people that were his foes, people that were his adversaries, people that did not wish him well, and people that, quite frankly, of course, as we know, had the mission to kill him. All of these things are learning opportunities. And all throughout the Bible, we can see how leadership and vision and what progress really was able to build an opportunity for us to know Christ for ourselves. And not only know Christ for ourselves, but also live here and demonstrate the power of Christ. And so I want to welcome you. This podcast is for anyone that has a leadership role, and that can be in your home, the leader of your family. You can be a leader in the community. You can be in education, law enforcement. You can be, of course, in ministry. You can be an educator. You can be in any aspect of life, entrepreneurship. And I say this to say that wherever you're at and wherever you have the opportunity, you have an opportunity to have a collective impact, to impact that atmosphere, to impact the people that you are directly dealing with, to show Christ. And the unique thing about this is not by going around every moment talking about Christ. And I think many people fall short on this because a lot of times you can impact people more by not even mentioning Christ, but showing the Christ and how you treat people, how there's something about how you handle situations and how you show love towards people and how you have a peace that's in you when it seems like there's storms going on around. And a lot of those things people want to know more about. And they will ask you, how do you do this? And that gives you a great opportunity to share the gospel, to share your testimony, and to show how your leadership can spread the gospel. You don't have to always be in the four walls of the church. You don't have to be on a program. You don't have to be in a pulpit. You don't have to be in the choir. You don't have to be ushering or, any of the jobs that you see, throughout the week or on the weekend in the building. Our job is, as Jesus said, go out and make disciples. And so we want to be the best that we can be and fall into our purpose and our assignment that's called by God. And so as we do this, we are leaders. We are to bring the good salt wherever we are at and, bring light into the darkness. And, we lead with confidence. We lead with a power that is not within just from ourselves, but the power within the power of the Holy Spirit. And we go out and we be ourselves. We show how we live Christ. And this is what this leadership vision and progress is to remind us of. So we're going to, with the purpose and the mission of having collective impact in our communities, to demonstrate how when we go out and away from, our immediate ministry in church, that we take Christ with us wherever we're at, whatever platform, we have the opportunity to show Christ wherever we're at. We're giving God glory. We're doing our work by the way we act, the way we handle ourselves, the way we deal with stress or whatever's coming at you, and how we interact with people in general. And so I want to welcome you to this podcast. Tonight won't be very long, but I want to talk about a few things. A lot of things have been going on now. We've had a lot of people that have had traumatic situations that have come about. And from that, many times when you're in that situation, you can't hear God, or at least you'll feel that, hey, I don't feel God. I don't hear God. I don't know what is going on. And I was really blessed by this topic because, and if you haven't heard this, I'm going to give Bishop Sean Cooper a shout out from the New Creation Family Church. Him and his wife, they're doing a powerful series there, and it's dealing with healing broken trust, right? And a lot of that is going on now, whether you've been hurt in a personal relationship, whether you've had a trust broken in, the church, trust broken in a personal relationship with friends or whatnot. But it deals with this because when you have trust broken, you're dealing with regaining that trust. You're dealing with forgiveness, and yes, you're dealing with betrayal. You're dealing with a multitude of different things. And especially when it happens in the church, it taints your view about coming back into the church. And many times and people, instead of getting mad at the true source of it, they will blame it all on God and get mad at God and say, hey, I'm not, I'm not going back into that setting because look at God's people. Right. So let's talk about it. I want to focus on, when you can't hear God. But like I said, hey, if you do have an opportunity, hey, check them out over there, New Creation Family Church, because this series is powerful. Whenever I have an opportunity, I do check it out. So shout out to them. When we think about when you can't hear God, I can't feel God, what do you do? Well, let me tell you the first thing that I want to suggest you do. And remember, you've got to decide what you believe, right? The rest of these, ideas that you may hear, you may have some that say you should do this or that. But the truth of the matter is, you've got to hold on to some belief in God in these times. God asks us for faith, which defies the requirement, for any proof of this. You can't just show someone your faith. Faith is something you can't reach out and see and pull in. Faith believes in something that you cannot see. And so the kind of faith that we're talking about is something that's not based on a scientific theory. It's not based on a quantum physics or even gravity. But the unique thing about this is that we can, in some ways, believe in quantum physics and even gravity, because when we walk outside, we just believe that we're going to be able to breathe. We believe that we're not going to, going to float off as if we're in space. Even to the fact when we sit down on a chair, we just have the belief that that chair is going to hold us, hold our weight, and stabilize us. So it's something that we want to do, right? We want to believe that. So you have to decide in that same manner if you're going to believe in God. And I will tell you, it's the deepest, yet the simplest and the best decision that I've ever made, and I pray that you will attest to this too, is that when times have been hard, when times have been difficult, when you've been down, that you still found something to believe in God, His promises, and you keep on doing that. And sometimes it has to be, quite frankly, minute by minute, hour by hour. You know, I know people say day by day, but sometimes you need it minute by minute. You've got to keep on telling yourself. So, and then when you're in communication, you tell him why you like him around you, right? Why you need God. You know, take some time to point out all the reasons why you're thankful for God's character and his provision in your life. If you want to do something really wild, right? Something really that you may think is crazy right now, make a list and put it somewhere. You know, some people put stuff on their refrigerators and mirrors or whatnot. Wherever it's at in your home, make a list of the things that you can think of that God has done in your life and why you need him. You know, do something that he did as well. You know, if you live, you know, for example, say I live halfway across the town from, you know, most of my halfway across the state from most of my family members, rather. But one thing I do when I miss them is I may think about something that we done, you know, if that's cooking a certain meal that, you know, they like to eat, or watching a certain movie that we like to, you know, watch together. And of course, yes, picking up the phone and trying to contact them, but say, I can't. But I do something, I do an activity that would be normally that we would do together. You know, it connects us in some way. It gives me a memory of something that was good. And it's the same way with God. He cares for the sick. He visits the lonely. He frees the oppressed. He gives irrationally, and he creates and imaginatively, right? He creates. So next time you miss him, try to do something that he would do to allow you to feel his presence. Even though you can't feel it on your own, you have to create some space to let God know that I'm thinking of you. Also, you know, find something that he made. And I like this because there's nothing quite like a clear creek or a lake, some mountains, you know, the beach, the rolling plains, beautiful flowers or trees, or, you know, you watch stunning animals, you watch the stars, anything that will remind you of what God is and what God is like. So the next time you can't feel him, get your hands out and touch something that he made. Look at something that he made. You know, you can see it all around. You feel the wind that blows, you know, through your hair. It blows on you. The stars, the sunlight, you know, start to feel what he made. You know, you know him. He's there. You can't feel him. And many times you can't feel him right now, even though he's there, because we have so much stuff going on in our minds and in our thoughts. So we want to do something to be active, to know, because we know him, even though we can't feel him, we got to believe in it. Now read something that he said. Now we know about scripture. Some of your favorite scriptures are in red. And I say red because that's Jesus' word. He's speaking. So you may start with something like that. God said, if you want to sense his feelings for you, go read his word. Try this, you know, from Jesus, and be sure of this. I am with you always, even to the end of the age. You know, Jesus tells us, hey, I'm with you, you know, and sometimes you need to feel that I'm not right next to you to understand my word and my ways, so you can understand that I need you to be able to be strong and affirm that you know my ways and my word as I do a work on you that's going to strengthen you and get you ready for another battle that's coming forth, or get you out of it to prepare you to help someone else through their battle. So, and then you want to ask him to come. And I like this. We don't need tingles to experience God's presence. Try asking God to reveal himself to you. Give him permission to do however he pleases. I submit to you. Come in my life. Do thus what thy will. I submit to you. There's nothing like talking with him like he's there. You don't have to have a designed speech or any type of church talk, or it makes me laugh when some people say, "Hey, I don't know how to pray like you." What do you mean, like me? You talk to the Father because he's your Father, and you talk to him how you talk to him. Some people say, "Hey, Father, I need you right now. Help me out." Amen. That's my prayer. My prayer is that you take me away from this, get me another job. God, I give you glory. That's my prayer. Whatever your prayer is, as long as you are creating a connection, a communication with the Father, you're asking him to come back into your presence, your experience, to where you're feeling, so where you can feel him in the midst of what you're going through, because he is. Your feelings of God's absence don't change the truth of his presence. Let me say that again. Just because you feel like he's not there, it does not change the truth of his presence. He is there. His word says he will never abandon us. Remember that, Deuteronomy 31:6. And we should never stop praying. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. We should never stop praying. So these are key things that he's telling us in the blueprint, and he being God, that, hey, I'm with you, but I'm cooking up something in you. I'm stirring up something in you that is good for you. I'm using you as the clay, and I am the potter. I am in a position to where I'm molding you. I'm altering you. I'm getting you to a point to where you're going to be refined for the battle. You're going to be refined for the war. You're going to be refined to go out and do a service. You're going to be refined to spread the gospel. You're going to be refined to experience in the fullness of Christ, because you know me, I know you, and you know my ways. And as you go forth in this and, of course, mature, you will know he's with you at all times, even when you can't feel him, even when you think you're at your lowest point, even when you don't have the strength to open up your mouth and pray and ask him. He knows your thoughts. So, hey, family, hey, that's my time. I pray you are doing, well in your life, in your current status. If you're not, hey, use some of these opportunities to talk to the Father. Use these opportunities to get back in contact with him. If you feel you can't hear him or feel his presence, know that he's there. Know that he's still working. Know that you're not alone. And always find something to be encouraged, because you're still here. And while you're here, you're still fighting. You're still in the battle. That means there's still a divine purpose for you in your life. So, hey, have a great evening. Have a great weekend. And know that God loves you, and we love you too. Hey, be blessed. And once again, don't forget, I'm telling you, it's good stuff. If you go online, New Creation Family Church, check out that hurt, the betrayal, and trust series. It's powerful. It'll bless you. God bless you all.